Veronica, but I've lived in ASD since May 6th of last year.
Last year. So you've been here almost a year.
Yeah.
Okay, great. If you don't mind me asking, how did you come to ASD? So how did you find out about us?
Actually, I've been knowing about it since 2006. My ex-boyfriend used to live over at Hillcrest. And when he first asked me to come here to Hillcrest, I thought it was just like a nursing home. I didn't know. And I mean, we had started dating, and eventually we ended up going to Amelia Courts to an appointment for him. And he's like, I got something to tell you. And so I said, okay. I'm thinking he's going to tell me, he's dying of cancer or something. That's when he told me I have HIV. And I was like, what am I supposed to do, run away? And we ended up staying together like almost 7 years. And then he moved out of Hillcrest into this building. And I moved in with him and stayed with him for a few months. And then I ended up moving out. My drug addiction was kind of going at the time.
So you actually found out about ASD through one of our, does he still live here?
No, he passed away last year, 2 weeks before I moved in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear
He
that.
had already moved out prior to him passing. He ended up moving to California, and then back from there back to Houston, and that's where he passed away.
So what's the experience been like living in ASD for you over the past year?
Fun.
Fun?
I've had a lot more good days than I've had bad days. I had been sober almost a couple of years already before I moved in here. So being sober, I think, just made it a lot more easier and more better for me. When I first put in, I thought that I was going to be going to Hillcrest, but I wasn't considered homeless. And so I hadn't been in a shelter or anything. So Mr. Danny told me, said, you're going to be on the waiting list for you. I ended up waiting almost 3 years. One of those 3 years was my last year of addiction. So, I mean, I think my stay is a lot better being that I was able to come in sober.
What has your journey been like in recovery?
Probably in 20 years being a recovering addict was probably the best decision I made. It's been, good days, normal, but it's been actually like the last 3 years of recovery has been more exciting than anything I've seen, probably because I started doing drugs when I was 21, and I didn't stop until I was 38, 39. So I'm actually living now. I'm able to know what it's like to have responsibilities. I'm able to know what it's like to go out with friends and have fun. Things that I should have been doing when I was from the ages of 21 up until now, I should have been doing it. And it's been pretty fun. I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world. And I thought that when I was in my addiction that it was all fun, but actually being responsible and having a life is more better.
So could I ask you why you agreed to share your story with us?
Different experience. And I always felt like that if I ever got a chance to share my story, it might help the next person. I wish that I would have heard somebody else's story before I got as far as I did, but unfortunately, I didn't. But fortunately, I'm still here to talk about it. My last usage was September 5th of 2000. September 5th, 2000. And I took my last hit of cocaine and ended up in the hospital in Methodist. And when I woke up, they were pulling tubes out of my throat about to call my family because I had stopped breathing. And so, I'm here, and maybe, like I said, it would help the next person.
Do you feel like ASD has supported your recovery or kind of helped? Like, how do you feel like ASD has helped kind of in that portion, like you're talking about, it's fun, you're living.
How has it helped you stay sober?
Yeah.
Knowing that if I don't stay sober and they drug test me, I'm going to be back out there in that sidewalk somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that much being said, like I said, if I go back out there doing dope and they get like, oh, we think she's using, we're going to drug test her, I'm going to get kicked out, and I don't want to be back out there. I don't want to die out there. I want to die around family, happy, natural causes, I mean, I'm already a dialysis patient. And so this is like I still have my mom. My closest sibling is 2 hours away, but we don't talk. The one sibling that I did grow up with, he's in Oklahoma. So ASD is my family. And so this is where I want to be with my family. And I know that back out there on the streets is not going to get me anywhere, but back out there on those streets without a life ahead.
Absolutely.
I'm cheering up, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
It's okay.
I mean, you're so strong for being able to overcome that and realize that it's never too late to start over. It's never too late to start living. And I think that's really beautiful.
And the sad part is that working at Hillcrest, you see that there's, just like I was warned, there's dual diagnostics over there. People are dealing with mental issues. People are still struggling with drugs, and you actually have some of those people that come to me. I mean, I can say I've experienced that some of the people have actually came to me to talk to me because they couldn't make it to the case manager, or they weren't comfortable. They know that we went through some of the same things because I've shared my story with some of them individually. And so, that's another thing that helps me to like, hey, keep pushing, because somebody wants to listen to me. Somebody comes to me for advice. When I used to be in the same situation that they're in, they're struggling. And it doesn't, that's like the worst feeling, to like know that somebody's struggling and you can't really do anything about it. But sometimes that's all it takes, is just someone to listen. Even though that person might not be right, you listen to them and say, hey, okay, you know what? I went through the same thing. My way of working might not be for you, but this is what I did. Why don't you try it? And they listen. They actually, some of them listen. Hey, you know what? I'm not going to go out there and get drugs for right now. Hey, that's good. At least someone listen for a change. Because at the end of the day, what matters is that someone listened to me when they didn't have to. Someone loved me when they didn't have to. Someone helped me when they didn't have to. And if I could help for at least 2 minutes, that's fine with me. So being at ASD is giving me an opportunity to, okay, just listen at the next person. If that's all you got, just listen. You never know when it counts.
Sorry, go ahead.
What advice would you give to someone who is currently struggling or currently in a situation like what you went through before?
I don't care if it's 3 o'clock in the morning, pick up the phone and call somebody if you can. If I can have ASD to leave those gates open, or someone, if they have to walk in there and knock on my door, do it. PCAs call my phone, someone pops up and say, here, I'm here to talk to Veronica. Even if you think they're asking for money, let me know. They might not have my phone number, just come knock on my door. Talk about it. If you can't talk about it, I hate to tell somebody close yourself up in a room by themselves, but get somewhere. Whatever you do, if you pray into the wall, save me, pray, talk, call. So I don't have a problem giving my phone number to anybody, because I just want them to talk about it, and I think that if I would have each time that I had the opportunity to talk to somebody, if I would have, I probably wouldn't have made it this far out there on drugs. I probably would have changed a long time ago. So just giving somebody the opportunity that I didn't have what did I have that I just didn't take advantage of?
You mentioned it a little bit earlier, but how has your experience been working the front desk or working at Hillcrest?
And also, if you could tell us a little bit more about what you do with ASD.
I work at the front desk. I think that opportunity has helped me because it gives me a chance to, not as much as the drug addiction that I had, but someone that's living with HIV that's been living with it for years. I've only had it like 3 years, almost 4. I get a chance to experience of talking to people that's been with this a little bit longer. But what do I do when I'm feeling depressed? What do I do if I don't feel good and I don't want to talk? It gives me a chance to be more open and talk about my situation, or it's just responsibility. At 42 years old, I have responsibility. Well, I've had it a long time, but I get to take advantage of it. Not so much dependent of my mom, not so much dependent on my father. He passed last year on my mom's birthday, so, it's actually getting a chance to make myself more open to someone that needs help. Because case managers can't always be here. Miss Constance can't always be there. My case manager can't always be here for you, because they have a life. They have things they have to do. They have meetings. Y'all have meetings, so. And I know that I can't go out there and do my case manager's job. I can't do Miss Constance's job. But just for that moment of having someone to listen, or just that moment of being able to pick up the phone and answer it for someone and transfer a phone call, because you never know how critical that moment could be. And I had even talked to my case manager. I said, I don't care about getting paid for it. I'll do it voluntarily. She said, hey, you get paid for it, then you can take care of more responsibility. So it evens out.
Absolutely. So you spoke a little bit about being relatively new to your diagnosis of HIV. How has that diagnosis, that positive diagnosis, affected your life and your relationships with other people in your life?
Yes. I got it. I can't change it. And live as long as I can with it, and that's all to it. I've known people live with it 30 plus years. My ex-boyfriend that passed, he got it. I think he told me he had been had it since 85. And you just can't look at a person and say, oh, this person's got it, because you don't know. It's your life. And this is my life. I gotta live it. Can't let it take effect of you, because you have to basically, it's like someone told me, you basically have to have the disease. Don't let the disease have you. Because if you do, you're gonna be depressed. Depression will make you sicker than what you are.
Can you point to anyone at ASD or beyond that you feel like has been an inspiration for you, or you feel like you've learned a lot from kind of over the past year or so of you being with us at ASD?
Everyone's equal. Everyone's played their part. Everyone's played their part in my sobriety. Everyone's played their part. My case managers, PCAs, co-workers. Everybody's played their part. Hey, Veronica, you know better. You don't need to do that. Or why don't you just listen to me? Why don't you try it this way? Everybody has played. Everybody that's in my life, the positive people in my life, everyone has played their part. I can't give more credit to this person because everybody. We got 10 fingers and we got 10 toes. Everybody's stood where they needed to stand to make me balance. If that makes sense.
What would you say has been your most difficult moment so far? And also maybe your best moment, or your proudest, or happiest moment?
And since I've been here?
Just period of your life, maybe.
I think that my worst was losing my dad on my mom's birthday last year. I didn't sleep for like 3 days. But my best moment, when I thought about it, realized no matter what, everything's going to be okay. Keep praying and keep pushing. And I mean, my favorite word at this point in my life is push. No matter what's going on, push. Pray until something happens.
Is there just anything in closing that you feel like you missed, that some advice you want to pass on to the next person, or, you know, just anything you want to say kind of in closing that you want people to know about you, about ASD, about anything?
About life? Life advice?
I mean, just when things seem to be getting pretty rough for you, don't let it hold you back. Don't let this one thing be the reason that you go out and lose. You need to talk. I mean, even if you gotta go in the corner and scream it out by yourself, do it. Don't let anything burden you down. I think what happened with me when I got off on drugs when I was 21 was that I had been dating this guy since I was 16. And he got killed. Like, probably as far from here to the street right there from me. I heard the gunshots go off and I stepped around the corner. He had passed away. He was dead. And I mean, I ended up, someone introduced, I've heard, throughout my life over the years before I got to that point, I've heard about cocaine, what it would do to you. But, no one held a gun to my head and said do it. I did it because I wanted to. And, just when you think that it's over, it's not. I mean, you think people think that they start living once they graduate. No, sometimes that's where it stops. That's where it stopped for me. But then now at this point, I'm 42, about to be 43, I'm living. And I'm serious. If I think that if I wouldn't have gotten this apartment here, I probably wouldn't have been back out there by now. Because at that point, when I did get this appointment, I was about to give up. I had been waiting almost 3 years, it seemed like. And I mean, I didn't. I couldn't. I mean.
How do you feel like being on that wait list for so long affected you? Was it, and like what gave you the hope to kind of continue? And
it was aggravating. I wanted to give up, but I didn't want to be back out there sleeping on the concrete anywhere on the sidewalk. I didn't want to be out there sleeping by a dumpster. I didn't want to be out there sleeping in vacant houses. And I definitely wanted to get out of the house with my mama. So, but, and she was one of the main ones. She's like one of the main people that kept saying, just wait, you're gonna get it, just hold on. And she was like, as long as you stay sober, you can stay here. But if you start back using, it's gonna be the same thing, and I'm gonna be locking you out of my house. And I think one of the best things that I heard, other than going to church, was that when I left that hospital at Methodist and I went to my mom's 2 weeks later, I said, Mama, I'm through. And she said, baby, I believe you for a change. And she started trusting me. So now that's my best friend. And so now, and then once I got this apartment, I got it in May. By January of 2023, I had a vehicle, I had a car. Then I got an apartment. And I can go and pick up Mama and say, hey, let's go shopping or something. That feels pretty good. At one time, not only did my mama have trust issues with me, I had trust issues with my own self. So, again, I wouldn't trade it for nothing.